Hello, and welcome to Confident HR Conversations, the podcast designed to help you navigate challenges of communicating in English as an HR professional with confidence and clarity. I'm Alena Konečná, and I'm glad you're here.
How do you deal with vague answers from hiring managers when you're trying to recruit the right candidate? Many HR professionals, especially those early in their careers, feel stuck between unclear requirements and the pressure to deliver results fast. In this episode of Confident HR Conversations, I sit down with Alexandra Lemerová, founder and CEO of Personal Connect, to talk about how HR can build stronger partnerships with hiring managers. Alexandra shares why asking open questions, admitting when you don't know, and really understanding the business context are crucial for success. We also demonstrate what a conversation with a hiring manager can look like, showing how better questions can turn vague requirements into clear, actionable insights. Welcome, Alexandra, to Confident HR Conversations. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Thank you very much for having me on this podcast. I am looking forward to our conversation.
Perfect. So let's dive right in and let's start with the basics. What I hear often from my clients is that sometimes the relationship between the HR manager or HR professionals, especially the junior ones, and hiring managers is sometimes challenging. And so I'm curious, from your experience, what might be some common mistakes that HR makes when working with hiring managers?
What you heard from your clients, it's true, and this is my similar experience. And not only as an HR professionals, but me as a supplier, as an external recruiter, helping our customers to find the proper candidates. Sometimes it's caused because hiring manager it's very busy, and he or she doesn't have enough time, or they don't have so much experience with recruiting. They are very experienced in their professionals, but they have no clue about the hiring process. And on the other side, sometimes, especially junior HR person has a lack of experience. They afraid to communicate. They afraid to share some concerns and clarity. So I think it's not only about HR. I think it's an issue from the both sides. And at the end, I think it's a lack of communication, I think.
Right. So lack of communication, a lack of experience, and there, of course, the communication needs to be both ways. But one thing you mentioned that sometimes HR professionals, especially when they don't have much experience, they're afraid to voice their concerns, voice their questions, and this way, the communication can't really flow. I'm curious, what can HR do to build trust and good communication with the with the hiring manager, even if the hiring manager doesn't really see them as someone who is experienced or trustworthy, maybe, or maybe there are some other preconceptions. Sometimes there's this also misconception that HR is not enough known in the business, or they don't know business enough. So how can HR from their side build the trust and good relationship?
I think it's very important, especially when you are new in this role or new in the company. It's important to understand the business dynamics, where the company stands in the market, what is the core of the business. I think it's important to speak with colleagues, not only from the HR department, but to understand who are the key players in the company, asking questions about the business, do some research about the competitors, about the challenges which the business is facing. So trying to understand the business, not only some theoretical HR understandings about the jobs descriptions, but to really understand what is behind the keywords we can say. And there can be a lot of articles, AI tools can help, or maybe to participate on some events which company are participate or it's involved. Yeah, so to be part of the business, to understand the dynamics of the business and challenges of the business.
Yeah.
I think this can help because this increase the credibility of the person and to help you to understand the job descriptions, what is behind the requirements is, and help the person ask better questions and maybe concrete questions.
Right. And that's a good point, right? Because if we don't understand what the hiring manager actually talks about or what might be their needs, it's very difficult to have some clarity and to answer the right questions, as you mentioned.
As I remember, I was recruiting a senior person for quite complex data warehouse and complex data management solution. And recruiter, she told me, don't send me CV without DW in the CV, in the competencies. Yeah. So data warehouse and DW. But, this is not enough. Yeah. What does it mean? DW competencies. And if a recruiter accepts such job description without knowing something more, it's very difficult to search for the proper candidate.
Right. That's a great example of when we just accept a vague answer and go with it, and that can create problems later on in the recruitment process, right? Because we didn't have this clarity at the beginning. Right. Well, let's now do a little demonstration of what this can look like, because from the HR side, there has to be an initiative in like learning about the business, asking the right questions. But sometimes from the hiring manager side, what we can hear are those vague answers and not enough information, and it might take more more effort from the HR side. So let's now show what this can look like. You, Alexandra, you will be HR professional. Maybe someone who already have something under your belt, you have some experience, so you know how to ask those good questions. And I'm a hiring manager who, for whatever reason, doesn't have such a close relationship with you so far. So my answers are kind of vague and not very useful. And so I'm coming to you with a request to kick off a recruitment process for, let's say, a salesperson. And here are my requirements. Alexandra, the thing is that now we're looking for a new person, and my main requirement that this person just has to be proactive. It should be someone who can take ownership, and I don't have to explain everything and hold their hands and everything.
Wow, this is really important. That's a candidate which should be proactive. But can you give me some examples? What do you mean proactive?
Okay, well, examples. Well, for example, I want them to take their time, think of a strategy, and come up with ideas on their own. Like, not to wait for me to give them the specific steps, but to be proactive in coming up with those strategies. Yeah. Also, because it's a small team that I'm recruiting for, that I'm looking for a person, ideally, this person should be, wearing multiple hats. They should have quite a wide range of skills, good communication skills, but also some project management, and of course, definitely sales.
And this is really quite broad requirements. Can you specify what are really the key expertise? Yeah, what are the critical for the success in this role for this person?
Critical for success. Well, as I said, it's a small team. They should know everything.
But sometimes if somebody is quite good communicator with great ideas, sometimes these people are not really good in focus on details. Patient, good listeners. So what are the maybe you can tell me what is the first task you are expecting that this person will handle?
Okay. Okay, in that case, when you put it this way, I think what we need to look at is our sales strategy. So they should be able to see the big picture and to communicate with the team so that they can easily fit in and come up with a good strategy. So yeah, communication skills and big picture thinking.
Yeah. And is this communication strategy already agreed, or you are expecting that this person will participate or review the strategy, will incorporate some own ideas in this, or is just the person will just implement what is already on the table?
No. They should definitely come up with fresh ideas. Yeah, that's that kind of expectation. Some
Mhm.
outsider's viewpoint.
Yeah. And what is really important that for this person that what is the situation of business? So are we planning to grow, or we would like to protect our position, or where we are?
Mm. Uh, well, I feel that there's a stagnation, and that's why we're looking for a new person. So the idea is to review what we have, what's not working, and come up with something that will be working.
This is really important because this will have impact on the profile we are looking for.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, this person will also need to work with the marketing team because it goes hand to hand. The new strategy should be aligned with, the marketing team. But that's all I know at this point.
Okay. And are we expecting that this person have some experience or skills from the marketing background, or it's just the bridge between marketing and others?
Okay. Good point. I think it's more about being the bridge, as you mentioned. You should be able to communicate the sales strategy with the marketing team in a way that, is understandable, I guess.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Hmm.
what are our biggest marketing channels? It's more on the social media or online, or it's events based, or what are the key marketing focus?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's a good question, and I think it's more a question to the marketing team because that might also come through. There might also be some revision needed in that case if the sales strategy changes. So at the moment, there's lots of social media and website, but yeah, maybe there will be some more things coming up. Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Understand.
Okay, awesome. That's it for the role play. And I just have to say that it was very interesting to hear your questions coming out from different angles, but being quite specific. And it was clear that you have a knowledge of, or you know how to ask the right question to get more details and more information. How was it for you, Alexandra?
This role play, you mean, yeah? Yeah. So I was a little bit nervous, yeah, because, I was demonstrating in the beginning that it's important to ask the right questions. But this role play was, it was just a game a little bit. But what is important for a meeting with hiring manager to prepare, really to be prepared, and don't afraid to come up with really paper, with questions which you can ask to better understand the role, and what maybe it can be good after the meeting with hiring manager to summarize what we discussed and send email. If this is what I understand, it is what you said. Yeah, this is what you agreed. So some written confirmation. I know that we are overloaded by emails, but sometimes it's better to have written confirmation to avoid some misunderstanding, because there is a lot of discussions and maybe some ideas I missed. Yeah, as a recruiter. So it's good to be confirmed. And again, back to hiring manager to help him or her to thinking about it again.
That's such a great point. A lot of times, I guess we're afraid to bother people with emails and confirming and asking again and again. But especially early on in the process, it makes a lot of sense. Also during the process, of course, but yeah, making sure that both sides understood what each of them meant by whatever. And sometimes it can be very ambiguous, right? What do we mean by communication skills? What do we mean by cooperation with marketing team? What do we mean by that?
Yeah. And based on my experience, in the beginning, we have some idea about the excellent candidate, but based on the first interviews with prospect candidates, sometimes this helps hiring manager to better understand, okay, but I need this one better, or this doesn't suit to meet my needs. So it's not an black and white, yeah. When we start, maybe we finish with slightly different profile. So I think it's important to tailor adjust during the whole process based on the feedbacks from market, based on the candidates, and in a lot of cases we couldn't find idle candidates. So it's still important to understand what is the must to have it, what can be maybe developed, and what is wishful thinking. Yeah. So this is very, very, very important.
I like how you say that this is not something that we once put in a writing, that's it. But it's something that can be developed during the process. And it might be also good for the hiring manager to know that it's not something they have to say at the beginning and then it cannot change at all. But it can be revised. The must-haves and nice-to-haves might change also based on the feedback of the candidates.
Yeah, and it's very, very important during the whole process to get the feedback, from the candidate, for the recruiter, and from the hiring manager. And this is again very, very important because this help HR better understand what are the needs and maybe better understand how the company, how the hiring manager, how the position is attractive for the candidates. Because it's not the process that we are just recruiting, but we are selling the position. Yeah, we need to attract the candidates for the position.
Yeah, that's a great point, especially for some positions where it's just very difficult to attract high talent
and especially on our Czech market when the unemployment it's really very low and it's not for the special position. It's and we discuss the sales position and to really find the good salesperson or sales manager with expecting experience and skills is not so easy to find.
Right. So as you mentioned at the beginning, having those criteria in how HR understands them in written form can be useful also throughout the process when doing those feedback sessions or revising the criteria based on the feedback from the hiring manager.
And it's very important to explain to hiring manager as well that there is not 10 other candidates who are asking to work for us. Yeah, so it's important that hiring manager understands that his or her role is as well to sell the opportunity to. Yeah, it's very important to understand what are the challenges, what and what is important to understand what is the success in this role. Yeah. So there are the development opportunities in this role. So, and this is the questions which again HR should ask hiring manager.
You mentioned what is the success. So asking question, what you mean in a sense of what would be a success in terms of what qualities should the ideal candidate have? That's what you mean?
Yeah. And after, for a while, this candidate working in the position, I mean, the success, his or her in the role, yeah, this comes implementation of a new sales strategy. So, for example, success can be 2-3 new client, or breakthrough to new segment with our services or with our product. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I really like the question that you asked in the demo about what will be, or something along the lines, what will be the first task? What will be the priority of their agenda when they start? Because that can help the HR professionals also with designing the questions for the interview, right? What is actually going to be expected from the candidate when they start.
Yeah. And what is very important that for the success of the candidate, it's not only or the success of the process, it's very important not only hire the right candidate, but to design together with hiring manager the proper onboarding program. And onboarding program can be tailored based on the first task, success, how to measure the outputs. Yeah, so concrete things. And the starting of designing the best onboarding process, starting with recruitment. Yeah, to understand what will be
That's an interesting
situation after half of year with this.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Alexandra, and for sharing the demo. Now, what would be your advice to those junior HR professionals who would like to create a better relationship with the hiring manager and to have more success in the recruitment process? What do you think should be their first step if they want to get better, if they're struggling with this clarity between themselves and the hiring managers?
I think what is very important to ask questions, open questions. Yeah, don't afraid to ask questions. And what is very important, don't afraid to share that you don't know. I think this is very, very, very important. And sometimes when I speak with senior candidates, I think they don't like junior HR who are asking questions. They don't know what is behind questions. Yeah. So if I don't understand, for example, risk management, I will not ask questions about the risk management. I will not present that I am expert. I will ask these questions, or I will ask hiring manager or somebody who is senior to check the skills.
Right. This can sound very terrifying, I imagine, for people who are just starting in their HR career. And that's something that I've heard sometimes, that they're afraid of saying, I don't know, I'm not really, I'm new to this, or this is just something I've been developing, but it's not, I'm not there yet. I'm not expert yet. Do you have any trick or tip for people who are at this point of their career and they just, as you said, that it's just better to own to that and to say that they don't know? What would help them? What do you think?
And maybe sometimes to find a friend and to train the interviews and ask for feedback, or maybe more senior, or there are a lot of mentoring programs. So if I would like to grow in my HR position, maybe I will apply for some mentoring program and to find a senior mentor who can help me to develop.
Okay.
Or to listen to your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. So getting feedback and having someone helping them through that process and through the learning can help, definitely. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alexandra, for sharing your wisdom with us.
And I'm curious if our listeners would like to connect with you and learn more about what you do or what you do at the Personal Connect. Besides maybe connecting on LinkedIn, or what would be the best way? Or what is there any invitation that you have for our listeners now?
I have my profile on LinkedIn, so they can find me there. There are links to my calendar, so if they would like to have a chat with me, just to select the proper time slot, so I'm open to share, discuss if somebody would like. I'm producing my HRKompass podcast, so I share some ideas, either with my guest or with my colleague Daria Russell. And we have Instagram, Facebook pages, so we are almost on all social media. So the listeners can find us there, or me, or my company.
Okay, awesome. I'm definitely going to link everything in the description. So thank you again so much, and have a lovely day, everyone, and take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you are an HR professional who wants a safe space to practice speaking in English, join our Confident HR Speaker community. We meet twice a month to discuss real HR topics, expand our vocabulary, and gain the confidence to express ourselves. Plus, you'll be supported and inspired by a group of other HR professionals who share your struggles and goals. Check the link in the description to sign up. Bye-bye.